Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. Polina here, chatting to you a little bit about the month of May. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the window that we've just passed through. So the solar eclipse and the new moon on the 30th would have done a lot of magic for you guys already, I feel. I feel that a lot of people have either been enlightened and given back their roots or their lives. They have seen it all maybe, or there has been a path cleared, and for some of us there is some trauma left, which I totally understand. But the way to basically do this month of May 2022 is to be absolutely fine and conscious about that which has happened and what is happening in the life now. It is very good to get very simple and raw with the base structure of our days and our lives. We can't overcomplicate and over-embellish our lives, but what we will maybe to some degree be curious or even forced to do is get in on all the details, because some of the time Taurus really loves all the details that we have in front of us. And I also feel that a lot of people are very impractical about their lives, and here comes in very handy the information that I've given to you guys about the plastic cultures that are happening in the world. I already talked about this in the last few videos. I've touched on this, disposable cultures and things that are just fluffy and over the top, and also those things that cover the truth and things that cover who we are. So I think that there's quite a lot of us that are in stagnation, or that are in cycles of irrelevance that actually happen as part of a passage of those of us that aren't interested in the grit and the root system of our lives, and we just want to create something beautiful, but yet at the same time not sustainable, or that which is sustainable only for a little time and eventually becomes disposable. So I'm also one of those people that is between culture, is between roots and between time, and I also found it very hard. So I talked a little bit about this in the eclipse video for the 30th of April. There is a difference to things. There is a certain meter to time and space, and some of the time our ethnicity, our root system, our family system, and the global systems that are working with us, the large energies that are working with us, are the ones that we have to answer to. And if we come from many different tribes, we stayed in many different countries, or we are a little bit in between culture, it can be a very difficult and driving time, because some of us have many parts of ourselves, many us, that want different things, you know. So for example, being part of 2 or 3 different groups, being identified in a certain way, or coming from a certain ethnicity or ethnic group on one side of the family, and then another on the other, or even having lots of them kind of battling, and all of these different yes and no's and positions in lives, and what I want and what I need and who I want in my life, and what I respect and what I don't want to do, is all kind of playing in this bouncing way between all these different energies that sometimes are in the works within each one person. So one of the things that happened to me, like say as a child, is being taught only one path of the family and not seeing the other. So for example, if you have a single parent, what sometimes happens is you only get one picture, or like a one-sided picture of what life is, and then the other part of you, or the other side of you, gets distorted, or gets kind of lost in translation. And what is really, really good to do, I feel, during these times, is to associate and understand now what it means to be alive on a very basic root level. So I would ask, like, if you have the time, having a look at Neanderthal culture, Stone Age, Bronze Age cultures, understanding what people were before history began, recorded history began, what did we wear, how did we sleep, for many thousands of years actually, before what we call evolution, in a way, or the age of enlightenment happened, before we started to practice certain things, before we had the arts as a sort of like the monster that it has become eventually over time, and before we had structures and societies and groups of people forming cities and all of these other things. So we had a very simple way of life. So I talked in the new moon video about Inuit cultures, and also coming back to a very, very simplified way of life in order to understand what you actually truly want and need. So right now, I feel we're very susceptible to pleasure. We have a huge Venus revival, and Jupiter is going into Aries this month, and it's passing this incredible, they're both passing this incredible window in this ascendant point between Pisces and Aries. And what I would like to warn you against is trying things that are just completely new and out of the blue. Like, I want to be this person, I want to do this now, I want to try this out. We have a lot of plastic, disposable, semi-psychotic cultural vibrations and shifts in the universe of people. There's a lot of us that just want completely crazy results. Also, we've got Mars going from Pisces to Aries eventually this month, so we've got to be very, very careful, and we've got to be very, very particular and maybe even peculiar about our tastes and our image and how we feel about ourselves and our world, what abundance means to us, you know, Venus, Jupiter, and also visiting the sign of Taurus, what goodness means to us, what kindness and generosity means to us, and what it all actually means. And we can't fully see it for ourselves. We can't see the forest for the trees, because we've had, like, seriously, so many generations of just mishaps and wars and famines and everything like that. So if we look at the history of humanity, it is really hard to get to the seed. The ascendant point is like, and here you are renewed, and here is the new value, this is new culture, this is a new way of life. And the worry basically that I have in my heart is that a lot of us are just going to choose something that we'll eventually have to throw out later, or that we can't be a part of eventually in the greater timeline, and also things that do not compute, and maybe our ancestors wanted, but our children will not want, and their children will not want. So this is about packaging a greater, bigger, plush, and more meaningful belief system for you and your ancestry and your future. This is a very past, present, future type of window. This month we have eclipses in the sky there too. We have a very, very futuristic, deep, and brilliant Uranus meeting the sun at the beginning of the month and taking that energy through. We got a north node illumination. We have, as I've said earlier, Venus, Jupiter, and also Neptune actually in a conjunction. We have Mars pushing our unconscious, our ancestral energy in Pisces. We have so many wishes and belief systems and needs and wants and all this courage or this discouragement. We have so many things boiling up into this plan. And also in the Tiger year, we have to be very mighty and big and beautiful in order to make it mean anything. So we can't just kind of lay by and look at life and see what happens, what comes and what ends. We can't just kind of bite our nails looking at what we are doing, what we've done. We cannot watch life like a TV switching channels. We have to be very, very real and conscious and particular about what we'd like to draw the line with and what we'd like to now pursue. So, I mean, this is all very complicated stuff. I'm sure that everybody has plans. I'm sure that everybody has curious things that are happening. I'm pretty sure that most of us have very, very interesting people and ideas in the mix of it, and we're all asking what the world is coming to. I suggest switching off any media whatsoever, television, this channel if you want, anything, YouTube, social media, anything, just to have some clarity. It's a really good time to detox and to understand what you now want. It's not that good a time to drink detox drinks and try to suddenly get your body into shape, because there's a passivity to Taurus, and it is a very, very strong month, so it's better to be on your feet. So what detoxing does sometimes, if you are detoxing your body or you're working too much with the mind, is it can become uncomfortable to face certain changes. So there's a robustness needed, but also passivity. So strong, but passive in a way. We can't really move mountains during this time unless they are timed to be moved. And for a lot of us, it is about acceptance and ingestion and digestion, which is what Taurus is about. So it's not about necessarily causing havoc. But when you do choose the flavor, when you do choose what you listen to, the voices you choose to listen to in the media, what you choose to be a part of in your world, where you choose to work or where you choose to be yourself, how you choose to grow, definitely needs to be completely righteous in a way and absolutely star present. We have a very, very fixed energy in Saturn, fixed North Node, fixed Sun, fixed Uranus, and also, yeah, of course, the South Node there, fixed in and Capricorn, not Capricorn, sorry, and Scorpio. So we definitely do have a very, very needed amount of altruism and earthiness and deliberate creation here. We have to make a lot of sense in what we're doing and a lot of sense in who we are becoming. We can't just willy-nilly walk through and collect what we want. So this is not a video game reality for most of us. This is not like Monopoly. You know, you pass, go, you collect $200, $250, you make your turns, you know, you finish the rounds. I think that a lot of people are very sporty at the moment. There's a very sporty energy about all this. It's like, I want to try this out. I don't really want to date this girl, but I want to, like, you know, take her for a date, see like what it's like, you know. So it's like, I don't really want to like buy this house, but like I want to see what it's like, you know. So we can't just willy-nilly spend our money. I don't think that we can now willy-nilly just date somebody. Jupiter-Venus conjunction connection is a huge one for immortality and for getting things done. And I also believe that a lot of us can't just place ourselves into a subordinate situation or into some kind of like clan, club, or group of people that aren't actually doing their best. We can't just be with like a nonsense person. We can't just like plug it and hope for the best. Try to get your ancestry working for you. So this is when you might want to revisit your root system. Sorry about the noise outside. We might have to revisit our plans, our past plans, our ancestors' plans. We might want to understand what is good in the world. What are we fighting for? What are we doing this all for? What are our children going to do? If you're moving cities, what is the promise for your child? If you are going to have to move your child to a new neighborhood or school, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Understand. And a lot of us definitely are set up for something that is definitely bigger than us and worth it. But you see, you might want to hand all those chips in, not necessarily. But if you are smart, if you're smart, you might want to hand these chips in if you understand and realize that to some degree there is going to be a nonsense in this box. So that means that when you walk into this new frontier, as these signs are crossing the ascendant point, as Venus and Jupiter and Mars are crossing the ascendant point, we get a rebirth of these energies. As you understand that it is nonsense and it's impractical and it's not going to give you that much later on in the end, don't. So this is when you want to check out things that are big. I don't think this is for everybody if you can't handle it, but this is where we do those big gut decisions. This is where we make friends on a bigger level. This is where we combine with larger and more successful groups of people. This is where we got the visionary approach to who we are and what we're doing. And I also believe and trust that a lot of us are going to get a big change, and also maybe a big mistake does have to be made in order for a bigger truth or a bigger vision to be sculpted out of all of it. So the reason, like, say why like I'm looking into, say, buying land during this time, exactly crazy, is because of the noise, of the noise pollution that I'm seeing in the modern age Peru and modern age in general. So like this is one of those things for me. Maybe the reason why things are falling and crumbling for you is also the reason why you need to make certain choices. Maybe saying a big no will drive you to a big yes, or maybe going from one point to another, one value system to another, one country to another maybe, or like one way of life to another is going to provide you something great. So some of the time there's going to be a big negative in order to eventually walk yourself up to that great positive. So some of the time we don't have it all. Some of the time we don't have all the pieces just fitting in perfectly unless you really, really, really want it. I mean, I certainly assure you that there are some of us that already have it all lined up and planned. It's almost as if you dreamt it all in a dream and you get this huge synchronicity wheel. And I definitely understand if you've got things coming out of the blue, check again. Before signing that paperwork, check again, because this is very hard. I think that some parts of us that really wanted this cycle to happen with the Jupiter-Venus situation Neptune nearby, I might have dreamt from a very ironic state of self. So we might have felt unwanted or broken or left behind or not understood, which is why we made certain decisions, which is what is never going to help you. So like, for example, if you never felt wanted or trusted, if you have immigrated too many times, if your ancestors haven't provided you the footing or the right options, or if you have not been living on the right soil for generations, if you have not actually understood yourself for maybe even many thousands or hundreds of years, it is going to be quite a dark question mark. Do I need this to happen? It's like pregnancy. Am I ready for this? Marriage. Do I really want to be part of this? Work. Am I really ready to take myself into that window here? Do I want to buy the earth that I'm buying? Do I want to sit in a place where I'm sitting? Have I really got the guts? Because Tiger Year is about that. Have I got the know-how? Have I got the patience? Have I got the time? Have I got the money? Have I got the know-how? Have I got the resources? Have I got the finances to actually take that into that next level? So sometimes this kind of time can be initiation. It can be initiating you. So for example, if you think you're all that, well, how about this? You know, you are like, say, singer-songwriter, you sing to yourself in a little group of people. Can you handle a bigger audience now? You know, it's like, okay, you've been telling me, you know, that you want a partnership. You know, are you ready now for marriage? You know, you've been telling me, this is what the universe is saying. I can hear you. I can hear you saying, okay, I want a child, or I want a bigger home, or like I want to change my life, or I want a very strong exercise routine. Can you handle this? So sometimes what this is Jupiter. Jupiter's going into Aries, you guys, conjunct Venus at first and then conjunct Mars. I mean, this is huge. It's like dropping it all on you. It's like, did you want this and this and this and this? And sometimes you got to be very, very strong and stern, and it is hard to know which way to go unless you have your hereditary and ancestry together. If you have your ancestors together just right, if you know who you are and you know how far you've come and how far you're willing to go, and also how far you are not willing to go, it is a better time for us. Yet also Inuit and ancestral and ethnic ancient value systems and levels, tribal traditions, that's going to help you. If you associate also to a certain type of religion or belief, it's going to hold you together, because Neptune is ruling this. So Neptune is controlling to a degree the progress of Jupiter and Venus. It's not just like, I got some land, I bought a house, like, hey, I got married. It's not just that. There is an educational, spiritual, or religious purpose, maybe tribal, traditional level. So there is a spirit helping you. But what spirit do you work with? You know, so if you are in a Christian organization, that is what you're working with. If you are reviving your genetics, and if you have, for example, Native American blood and you really want to know more about it, that's going to help you. If you are working with, I don't know, food and drink, you just love to go out and party, great, that's going to help you. If you're working with fashion and, you know, magazines and what is cool, like what has been cool in the last, I don't know, 50 years maximum, that's going to work with you. As you age and as you mature and as you become transcendent of all these things, and even one day, like, religion is going to be nothing. One of these days, things like even large global philosophies that you trembling in front of, you thinking they're so much bigger than you. Something is bigger than you, okay? Neptune, Jupiter, Venus, wow, something is bigger than you. Like, that's going to be something very small. So some of the time you also have to understand, you have a door, you can walk into it for 5 or 6 minutes and walk out, or it can provide you a lifetime. But some of the time we grow way beyond ourselves, and even those ethnic and ancient ideologies can be only for a small time given for you, for us to be able to learn. And we have to understand that it is as strong as our family and our visions and our contrasts have allowed it to be. So as you grew, you have been part of many groups and cultures. As you grew, you've been part of many movements. You've been offering your time to TV. You've been offering your time to social media. You've been offering your time to certain type of social contrasts or psychologies, or even like ethnic groups of people, or like certain types of tribes, schools, practices, movements, social movements, basically. Because of this, you've got it going on the way that you got it going on. So like here, like, I can't tell you how to do it because you're also a product, but make sure your root system is beyond 5 or 6 years, so make sure your root system is not like, I like TV, I like videos, I like TikTok, I like, staying young and pretty, I like putting things on my face, I like imitating other people's faces, I like wearing certain clothes, and I like walking down the street like I own it. That's not going to help you. So like the practical thing here to do is basically to embed and understand, and this is where a lot of tears come in, like I never knew my mother, I never knew my father, I don't know where I'm from, I don't know who I am, I don't know where my grandmother is from, I don't know what my cultural belief system have to do with the modern day, I don't know what is the problem with me, I can't find anybody to be friends with, or I can't find a job that fits me, or I'm never in love with anybody, I don't know what to do. So all of these messes, like I don't know, like, so these little hands flailing around and people feeling like they don't know what to do is part of a non-constructive past. So Saturn is very strong for us these days. Saturn is very, very strong here, very, very healing. We have to be inside that which we want to be inside. So plug in now. Okay, for example, you are working as a banker, but you actually studied art as a child and a teenager and a young adult, and you really wanted to be an artist, and that's all you think about. But you go to your career, like to your job day by day, not knowing what you're doing. Trust that. So like, where is that heart? This is like almost like the knight in a pack of tarot, the hopes and dreams in your passage, the knight on a horse, like going his way. It's like the knight of cups, or the knight of pentacles. Where am I going? Like, where are my visions taking me? Where is my dreamscape, Neptune? Also Uranus. When am I going to grow up into this greater vision, greater version of myself? Also, I got to tell you, Uranus coming into light, so Sun hitting Uranus, this is not about doing the crazy stuff. Astrologers don't know how Uranus works. This is not just about electronic things and doing things differently. This is not just about new age technologies at all. At all. This is not just about innovation. You don't just innovate like, hey, you know what? I was thinking it's not just that. Like, this is how it works. So Uranus is a regenerative tool, and I'm working with it in my body. So I love working with Uranus because it's regenerative, and it can regenerate almost any organ. It's really great. But to have Uranus work on you, especially during a Taurus illumination with Uranus and Taurus for so many years now, it is going to be so hard to get what you want unless you relax and sit down also. So also ancient technologies, ancient passages, old things, like for example, I'm drinking herbs at the moment, right? Drinking herbs instead of taking pills, okay? Like taking care of you, classic way of life, the classic ancient tribal cultures, slow passing, regularity. We need a lot of calm and confidence and sensitivity and peace in order to have that regenerative process happen at all. So why I'm very, very strong on this also is because I think we're running around, people doing so many things, and they miss the point of life. And not only this, we actually have also Mercury going retrograde towards Uranus by some point of the month, so we don't actually have that much time. We think we got to rush this. Also, Mars conjunct to Jupiter, eventually going into Aries by the end of the month. We think we want to rush this. We don't have any time. North Node and Taurus pushing us towards Uranus. Come on, I want change. I want to change my life. I want to, I don't know, like be extreme. I want to be exciting. I want to finally get it done. I want to finally get it ready. I want to finally have the big bucks. I want to have the money now to do this. I want to. And we can't make it happen unless we have a very, 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 very nice simplicity. So the left behind feeling, doing things because you feel left out, doing things because you got a chip on your shoulder, doing things because you think your mommy doesn't love you, your daddy doesn't trust you, doing things because, and there's lots of reasons, there's lots of value systems as to why people do things and why people appropriate cultures, why they don't appear in the right spaces, why like the wisdom goes and they completely mess themselves up, or why they don't know which way to go, how to swing an axe, or how to really fully buy or sell or be a part of anything, how to make the right moves, is simply because Uranus makes you feeble in the mind, feeble in the body. A lot of possessions with spirit, like being possessed by spirit, a lot of not knowing what is the day or the time, goofiness, being unable to choose your clothes or your way of life, being having to succumb, having to suffer, is actually Uranian thing. It's not just Pluto, Mars and Saturn that are pushing these buttons for us. No, no, no. It's also Uranus, this kind of ugliness, you know. So people with a lot of Uranus first house, you guys, sometimes these people have very different teeth, very, very strange features. They could be lopsided on one side or the other, depends on how the Uranus is placed. Very strong Uranian charts are about difference and change and mutation and new technologies, yes, and brand new ways of life, but this has to be done calmly. So to regenerate your life calmly, to regenerate your skin without like causing, you know, issues, to regenerate your inner biology and your inner systems, to regenerate your friendships and relationships, to regenerate your money flow, money source, to regenerate your abundance level. We have to get to the root. We have to get to the root, and also we've got to be calm. So like, what makes you calm? Sometimes mama's cooking makes you calm. Sometimes calm means like being next to a person that is nice and neutral and level with you, and sometimes it's being part of a group or a territory that is just pristine and peaceful, calm, nice, and very, very sophisticated, maybe also a little bit boring, but very kind people, even nosy people. Calming down and then allowing yourself to relax. And if you don't know how to relax, you are not on the right soil. You're not in the right system of friends. You are running around on hot ground, so your feet are burning or stinging. With that comes a question of territories, Taurus territory. Some of the time we don't have the territory that we need. Also Saturn being at a trine to North Node here. Territories. Saturn being at a trine to North Node. Okay? You can't just willy-nilly wing it. You can't just be like, hey guys, what's up? This is not what it's about. This is not what the coming age is about. You can't just like walk up there, hey, I got a credit card, I'm fine. This is not where it's at. Also, most travel has closed down for a reason, you guys, because we need to heal our bones. We need to heal our stomachs. We have to get back to a nice, simple yes or no answer. This is not about multiplicity. This is not about exotic things. So Saturn constricting Aquarius in a way. So this is not about like, hey guys, I'm all color and every door is open and I am the universe and the universe is all in my... We can't do that. We can't just say everything's in my favor. You know, sometimes people say, relax, I got a credit card, or relax, I got, you know, like my skin color, you know, or like my ancestry, or like, you know, the money in my bank, or like, you know, my daddy is a big boss. Saturn you can't think these things anymore. You can't do it like that anymore. So like Saturn is like kind of juicing you. It's pulling you down. It's kind of milking that energy out of you. And it's wanting us to conform in a way, and also confront ourselves with the people and the magic that we're using. Pineal gland of the astrological chart is Uranus, Uranus-driven Aquarius. The pineal gland and the response to nature. We don't have to necessarily do this right now, but understand filtering your water. Great idea. Filtering information. Filtering the people that you do and do not need. Also, like, I definitely understand we live in a very multifaceted world. And I also understand this approach. I actually met this really amazing Inuit girl. She connected to me over a session, and she's so accepting of all life, and that was incredible. So it's almost like no parameters needed. Everybody and everything is the same. Everything is invited to play a game with the universe. And it was also loving to connect to that ideology. Although here, if we are looking at the greater global motions and what is successful later on in time and how you would do better if you invested in this time, I definitely understand if you just want to say, hey, you know what, like, I can do this with my eyes closed. I can do it like this. I can do it like that. I can do it, I can do it anywhere, like, because you know what, Polina, relax. Universe is wise and loving. Can you imagine? The universe is wise and loving. Jupiter, Venus. It's all gonna work out in the end. It's okay. Uranus, okay. We can't really just wing it. We can't just fluff about. So the best thing that we can do, and probably the best thing that we ever have done, is understanding now how the world works, how the earth works, and also understanding what these different passages of time have done with humanity, and understanding why we're not healing as a people, and why we have so many mistakes and oopsies and like hiccups and like monstrous energies and monstrous things that have ever happened to us and our species, and also mothers and fathers and potentially our children. Why we have so many oopsies, you know, like say the climate change and everything like that. And my gosh, I'm not going to even go into like warfare and poverty and enslavement and all of that stuff all over the world. We don't want to wait for it. We don't want to think and see the ancient values and cultures. And when we look at places like Bolivia, we look at places like Chile, like Peru, they are seriously like some very, very amazing young and up and coming frequencies that we don't see because we don't want to see, because our ancestry is different maybe. But you see like these ancient like human values and these transcendent ways of just seeing things as they are, and simple living options aren't going to be amiss. They're going to help you. They're going to help us. We have to go back to the basics. And for those of us freaking out about money, Jupiter, Venus, Neptune, money, I want that money, give me that money. If we are very poor in spirit, money is what we think about. Poverty shows in the person that talks and thinks about money the most. Money is that safety net that protects you from mom and dad and culture and vision of other people. Money protects you from how other people look at you and what people see in yourself and in your face and in your culture even. Money is a protective mechanism. It's a defense mechanism against things that you are not knowing of, or the things that could and would happen. So within money is also a portal, and yes, it leads to greatness, and it is just energy, but that is not the part that we see most of the time. Money is a root game of finance. And yes, we also have to realize that there are other games to play. So Jupiter doesn't have to be about money anymore. Taurus isn't just about the money in your bank, I hope. Though yes, on a more pragmatic note, yes, money can change. Uranus, Sun and Taurus, North Node, we can change the way that we see goods. And as a species, as a collective, we're not getting poorer. We're just changing from the way that we do things. You know, people have been flamboyantly crazy about this whole gas prices thing, you know, and everybody falling into a crisis. Also, there are crises out there, but only for those that don't understand how else to look at abundance and natural life, and how to like treat natural light, for example. Okay, so if this building isn't able to produce electricity, natural light is fine. What do you mean natural light is fine? Not having a fridge in my house where I just lived for a month was fine. What do you mean you didn't have a fridge for a month? You know, like having no internet, having no access to technologies is fine. What do you mean? What do you mean? You know, so like, how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it without the credit card? How are you going to do it without paying a mortgage? How are you going to do it? And the best way that I am going to try and explain you is, yes, the world is changing. Jupiter is going through ascendant point, touching on Neptune, real big plush insights, you guys, like really big, sensitive topics and huge heart-opening spaces and ambitions. Yes, of course, great. But we also have to understand what is the might in it, you know, and sometimes it is nothing at all. A lot of things that you guys might be running around for, believing in, might not actually be lasting for too long. Also, like, I definitely understand investors and investment and a lot of like jack-in-a-box investment, very, very fast, snappy people, you know, with snappy words. And then just in a very small time, you don't have any money in your bank. So it's very, very important to understand where it's going, what is the value and the contrast, what is the worth of your dollar, and how is it going to look in another year or even 14 years' time? Will it survive? You know, will we survive on this level? And it all sounds really, really like strange, but it's comical to me now because I have lived in a little hut. I've lived in a little hut in the jungle for a fair amount of time. And there is no light, and there is like a solar panel, right? The solar panel you know, and we had a little tiff in Peru. There was a lot of demonstrations and a lot of people got hurt. There were even like gunshots in my area. Well, you know, where I live, and you know, that blew over, you know, and we didn't have a fridge, we didn't have access, we didn't have a car. We just like stood on the street like pulling over cabs, and that went okay. You know, I didn't even notice, but like for some people that is like horrendous. Like, how do you do this? It's interesting. I had some people visit and they were like looking around, it's like, you're living in a bungalow now. Wow, that's really scary for me, like, because people have their presets about what good living is. So the question is, what have we become? I mean, that's a huge one. That's definitely Neptune Jupiter question, and is going to come up during this month. And the eclipse season is quite tough on you, I imagine, if you haven't come to this. What have we become? What have we become as a people, as a nation? Are we living in the correct way? You know, how we're addressing, how we're speaking to each other. Is it really fully correct? Like, what are our values and our systems? What is our young generation up to? Are we happy about them being on a device all day? Are we happy about the way their schooling is going, their programs are treating them? Are we happy about these different parts of the New Age movement? Is it really worth it at all? I mean, is it getting toxic for us all and our children? Do we really want to be part of this circus? Do we really believe in the governments and their choices? Are the news channels totally ignored now? Are we afraid of each other? Are we afraid of the news and the propaganda out there? Do we really like each other, really? Do we really like having neighbors at all? And these questions just keep on coming. So I'm going to try and make it so strong and simple for you. Look at your root system and simplify things. I mean, to me it feels that also the way to do it is just to see the bare bones. I'm sorry if this is hard for you. The bare bones of our system. You know, the bare bones of who you are, the bare bones of what you're doing, you know, and how you're going and what you're acting as in the game of life, and understand it and not be afraid of a certain demise that the eclipse season might eclipse. This eclipse, oh my gosh, the eclipse, I'm sorry, in full moon eclipse, total eclipse in Scorpio on a blood moon on the middle part. Yikes, like that's really strong. Also, this will be very close, very close to the south and north nodes. I mean, this is a change of your whole family line. This is a change of your whole history if you want it to be. I will be doing a video specifically for this later on in the month, but yeah, like, understand 15th, 16th ushering in a huge global catastrophe for some people and a huge global change. A blood moon, full moon eclipse in Scorpio by the middle of the month. This is going to definitely cause some changes, but yet again, there are superb frequencies and things working with us as this Jupiter-Venus combination is asking us at the beginning of the month to just follow that heart, follow that road ahead, and just laugh and just be free. And I understand this is almost like, this is like extreme case stuff, you know, this is like the Grim Reaper, you know, and then there's like abundance and fun and like universality and wanting to do more with our lives. And Uranus is asking us for change and produce much larger pictures than we've ever done before. And suddenly there's like this north node also like, where are you going? Well, let's make it fun. And then we got this incredible also Mercury retrograde close to the north node, and also Sedna. My gosh, Sedna is one of the most horriblest asteroids. It's like, I'm a lady tied to a post. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. The dragon is coming. Somebody save me. You know, Sedna is like, I'm in a tight spot right now. So this is like about courage and friendship, but at the same time being like nobody and not knowing which way to go, being tied up, having no movements. I mean, this is like doom and gloom. And then at the same time, there is these huge hops in reality. And some of us are like, whoa, wake up world, I'm here, I'm young, I'm free, I'm fresh, I am deliberate, I'm delivering. And yes, that is also hopeful and karmic in a way. What are you delivering? Like, if you could do anything this month, if you could place anything together, if you could make anything, if you could, my gosh, careful with your money this month, my gosh. But like if you are going to make a big change or like a big wisdom, you're gonna take that flight, you gotta like rock and roll, you're going to make it happen, you're gonna make a juicy start or like a big fresh ambition. I understand you if you're like, okay, look, my life's falling apart, I just want to get drunk. Okay, this is as far as I'm getting it today. That's awesome as well. That's awesome. I just really feel for you. If you had a chance to gallop through 5, 6, 20 realities in one time, also with this Uranus just power zapping you into something, power zooming you, and this Mercury coming back to it, and the North Node is like, come on, let's do this. It's very fast. It's galloping energy. I definitely understand it can also go the wrong way depending on your karma and how you've been basically involving yourself and spending your time. I definitely also understand that by the end of this month, we'll never be the same. A lot of us are going to change so much. I think a lot of us are going to change completely. And then we got this really nice, passive, kind, and calming Gemini time where you're sitting there with a nice kind of like glass of whiskey and you just enjoy like one leg over the other. For most of us, it's going to be a very, very nice and even like a separate window where you just basically get to degustate life a little bit and walk about with your friends and just like have fun and joy. So yeah, there's like this power zap and like almost like the doom and gloom window now, but at the end of it, like there's just like everyone's relaxing. But like when you are there, you'll see it. You'll be like, oh gosh, I should have done it different. Or like, oh gosh, what was I thinking? So now is the time to make sure you don't do that. Understanding your ancestry, your root system, and what is what in the world. Understanding the values and the high frequencies, like what is going on in the world. For example, do you want to buy this land? Yeah, I do. Can you work this land? No, I can't. Do you know what you want? A kind of. My friends are doing this. Ah, okay, you're doing it for your friends. Or like, what are you expecting to do here? Like, do you like this job? I don't know. I don't really care about it. Do you like this person? I don't know. We dated a couple of times. Like these like superimposed lives and realities are going to kick your butt eventually after all. So this is one of those big daddy moves. I mean, this is if you were gonna be daddy, if you were gonna be mommy, if you were gonna be a big executive timeline changer. This is not surgery. This is like, I'm gonna take this train that I've been on for like say 5 generations and I'm gonna turn it around. You know, I'm not going to be this sad, sulky person anymore, or I'm not going to be this poor person anymore. I'm not going to be this poor me person anymore. I'm not going to be this unwell, like uncomfortable or like sick person anymore. I'm going to turn this train around. That's really, really fantastic. Look after yourselves. Only those that really know their stuff can help. So like say, I'm drinking herbs always. I have this obsession with plants, you know, not just like like some people think, oh, it's like an ayahuasca thing. No, just any plants that help the body. I can help another person, like I can walk forth and give those plants to another person, but then like walk away and take care of yourself as well. If you have something in your hands, like say you play an instrument really good, if you talk really good, if you know yourself really good, and it's like effortless. It's like a tree losing a fruit. It's just so easy. It's like, here, have some fruit. If you have a lot of fruit, you can just give it away. So super cheap and easy this time. It's about undoubtful gifts as well. So it's like, just take it. You can help another if you have it so easy. If you don't have it easy and you think you're like the master by carrying somebody on your back, don't do this. So this is also, it's not about mastery, it's just about, in a way, it's about teaching other people and helping them along. Only help if it's like blowing a kiss, you know, like giving that money away is like blowing a kiss, or like hugs are easy, you know, or like happily holding hands with somebody or providing my friendship. And also got to tell you, that's where actually the master is. If you can give kindly without counting. Like, okay, not probably the best conversation, but I have a friend who's quite sick at the moment. So I just happened to have some herbs in my bag. So I just gave her some herbs and I walked away. And I walked away, you know? Fantastic. If you know how to play an instrument, you play an instrument all the time. I can play guitar. Like, I've got 80 songs I can play on guitar, right? More than that, you know. And then I go, you know. So like this is the thing. It's like you give advice, like you love to laugh or you love to pat someone on the back or give them encouragement. Do it fast and walk away. That's the beauty of sharing wisdom during this time. But when you start counting, like this person was sitting on my back this whole time, or like I had to do this for you, like understand, if you are a master in the miracle, you'll know when to walk in and when to walk out. Also the gift of kindness and the gift of touch. There's a philosophy here actually that I'm trying to relate to this whole video, but I'm too much in the mind. Okay, we're at 45 minutes. If you've been here supporting my channel, watching this stuff, thank you so much. Okay, so 45 minutes, I'm sorry. All right, the gift of generosity and kindness is the future. But this is the thing, you can't act as it. You can't just be it. It's inside you, and it's almost too precious and sacred to talk about. So when you have an incredible sense of kindness and gratitude and goodness about you, you will wheel yourself out of any crappy situation you might have accidentally, through your ancestral karma or through your karma, wheeled yourself into. If you are just kind, be nice. That's the main thing. Also understanding what niceness can do. At this point in time, kindness is like a new religion. If you are just a nice person, if you are just caring, if you can just sit with someone and be absolutely no doubt cute and nice and normal, that's gonna earn you anything. People get jobs like that sometimes. If you can be just nice and normal, like this is where you get chosen. This is where you don't have to ask what is the meaning of my life, or like tumble around and show everybody every color of personality you have. You can just be a normal, nice person. Offer somebody some money that is struggling if you have a lot, you know, offer somebody your home if they have no place to stay. It's just a kindness spectrum that we're going into, and I think a lot of people are going to stop trying so hard and stop walking into things that they don't need to walk into, just because there are kinder things to be and kinder places to visit, and they're just kinder people to know. So that's probably the last word from me on this one. Kindness wins. Kindness is the new ego in a way. So before we were like, you know what, I'm gonna name drop, I've got a few friends here and there, and you know, like I've got this and that. That is getting old, and if you're still walking that way, kudos to you. But we got to understand there is a code of kindness coming to this planet eventually, and people will tell you apart if you are actually genuinely kind and sensitive, and you can be strong, and you have the heart of a lion or the heart of an eagle, whatever, like heart of anybody. If you have a big heart and you just really know how to love, I think that is going to start to show. So even if you know like 500 songs on guitar, but your heart is broken and untaught by generosity and simple spiritedness, you are not going to get an audience here. So that's the thing. In the kindest way, also it's really good to apologize. If you want, one of the greatest things you can do is apologize during this eclipse season, especially the full moon eclipse. Also, I gotta probably apologize to you. I'm taking your time. It's 48 minutes now, and I'm sorry if I've been treating you as children, because I would like more people to see this, you know, these videos. And I do understand that a lot of things I'm saying, some people don't understand. So if you are above this information and you're actually wanting to really see that big slice of energy, the big slice of light, there is something about me that is guiding me lower in frequency. So thank you for having patience for me, for not providing you the most epic energy or information, because I'm still trying to touch the lower levels of those that hear me and that still don't understand the simplest things like disposability, disposable cultures, and disposable paths. So thank you so much. I mean, I also was once a person in a disposable culture and disposable path, and sometimes I have people visit me that have the same issues. So I'm thankful for you if you are very adult and you can handle it, and if you can go on the highest vibrational level. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I'm going to try and work up to my to that level myself. So thank you so much for having patience for me if there was something off grid or off tune that I've said to you lately. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you for subscribing and liking, whatever, commenting. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't often read the comments, but I did last time, so thank you so much. If you'd like, there is stuff in the caption section below. Also, I have a friend. I will put her details in the caption section below, who's offering her guidance services as well. If you're interested, you can have a look at her website also. And if you'd like to have a look at 12 months ahead, 12 months ahead, 12 signs ahead, I'm sorry, all the 12 signs, I will be putting audios on the Patreon channel in the links below. And if you'd like a reading, you can have one. If you'd like to have a look at my books, you can do that. So thank you very much. Sorry for taking ages to explain. I hope it's been helpful to everybody on every level. Thank you. Bye.